It has been a while since I've uploaded a video. My apologies to you guys out there. But welcome back to the Sock Drawer. Now, I would have done this episode of the Sock Drawer live, but I felt that the information I have today would be too much for one stream. So, why not condense it down to a video? Today's topic will revolve around a certain Christian university that I have attended. This said university is Liberty University, founded in 1971 by Jerry Falwell Sr. Liberty University is the world's largest Christian university, situated in the city of Lynchburg, Virginia. Besides LU being known for Jerry Falwell Sr., the university is also known for having conservative and evangelical points of view, as stated in their mission, which says, Training Champions for Christ, offering 700 plus accredited programs that also offer doctoral degrees, and having notable students, staff, and alumni. Some of them include William Byron in the NASCAR scene, John Luke from Duck Dynasty, some Fox News reporters, and especially the Falwells themselves. Though the university has some positive traits, well, some of them positive, the others are, well, a bit questionable, there have been and still are issues that plague this seemingly wholesome Christian university. The issues lie within the administration of the university, the environment of some of the student body, and especially the university's strict conservative doctrine. Before we dive into the topic at hand, I do want to note that there is the Hulu documentary titled God Forbid, which discusses some of the issues that will be mentioned here about one of LU's former presidents, Jerry Falwell Jr. Though it has not been released yet, I would recommend you all to give it a watch. It may have more information that I might have left out in this video. But with all that said, let's dive into the topic at hand. I believe the perfect place to start in discussing Liberty and all of its issues currently would be starting with Jerry Falwell Jr. Jerry Falwell Jr. is the son of well-known evangelical leader Jerry Falwell Sr. and was president of Liberty University from the death of his father in 2007 to August of 2020. Jerry Jr. is very much a conservative, both in political and religious sense, though he tends to be more vocal when it comes to his political beliefs rather than religious viewpoints. We'll get to that soon enough. After the death of Jerry Falwell Sr., there were talks amongst LU officials on who should be the leader of Liberty University. Should it be Jonathan Falwell, Jerry Jr.'s younger brother, the friendly, well-spoken preacher of Thomas Road Baptist Church, or Jerry Jr. himself? To the officials of Liberty University, many believed it would be Jonathan. Quote, Jonathan's a great speaker, an orator, a people person, one current top Liberty employee close to the Falwell family told me. Jerry can't complete a sentence in person. He's nervous. It's just not him, and there's nothing wrong with that. End quote. As a former LU student, I can actually vouch this statement. Whenever Jerry got on stage to speak during convocation, which was our weekly meetings on campus, Jerry sounded like he was slurring his speech, as if he was drunk before he got on stage. Though many believed that Jonathan would become president, that was unfortunately not the truth. And Jerry Jr. would be the president of Liberty University. Former employees of LU have stated that the only reason he even got that position was because his wife, Becky Falwell, forced him to become president. Former employees have even stated that Becky wanted him to be president of the university because he was carrying his father's name. The many LU officials that knew Becky Falwell personally knew that if you didn't agree with her, you could potentially be fired on the spot. In a leaked email from 2012, Becky complains and asks other officials, including her husband, to fire an employee that was complaining about the parking spaces on campus. I assume she did fire that employee because the parking on campus is still fucking atrocious. Oh, won't you look at that? We have the email. From Becky Falwell, sent August 27th, 2012, 7:06 p.m. to Falwell Jr. and others. Subject, Jessica. Someone needs to talk to this girl. I don't think that we allow employees to post negative remarks about Liberty. Her Facebook says that she is a loan processor. Jessica. Dear Liberty University, your parking is ridiculous. As much as I enjoy the 15-minute scenic walk in heels to my job, I am sick of fighting my coworkers for parking spaces. You make me want to break my own legs just so I can get a handicap parking sticker. Jonathan got what was second best. Vice President of LU. He would have served as the spiritual advisor and keep the university from straying away from its Christian roots. However, Jerry and Becky would begin to push him out of not only leadership, but out of all of his assets and properties associated with Liberty University. Quote, Jerry never removed Jonathan, a former top LU official said. He just kind of pushed him aside. For one, Jerry used Liberty's abundant resources to bring his father's diffuse properties under his control. He bought all the Thomas Road Baptist Church properties, Liberty Christian Academy, Jonathan's building at the airport, and a couple of others. Jonathan complained but never stood up to Jerry because he knew Jonathan controlled the purse strings, this former top official said. However, the control of power wasn't the only problem that made Jerry Falwell Jr. an issue. One of the most notable issues with Jerry was that during 2015 into 2016, Jerry Falwell would begin to voice more of his strong conservative viewpoints on controversial and political topics. One such example was when the San Bernardino mass shooting of 2015 happened. Jerry Falwell Jr., during the LU's weekly convocation, went up to say the following about the attacks on Muslims. Quote, I've always thought that if more good people had concealed carry permits, then we could end those Muslims before they walked in, he says, the rest of his sentence drowned out by a loud applause, while he said, and killed them. Jerry claimed that he was only making the statement towards the terrorists themselves. However, the way he worded his speech led many to believe that he was being Islamophobic. Around this point, Jerry would also begin to show his support for Republican candidate Donald J. Trump during the 2016 presidential election. Every convocation would only be dedicated to politics, rarely anything with religion, and inviting conservative guests to speak, such as former Vice President Mike Pence, Charlie Kirk, and Ben Shapiro. Even after Donald Trump won the election, Jerry made it his goal to make Liberty University more conservative in the political sense. And I can tell you from a personal experience, when I went to LU back in 2018, around that time is when they abolished the Student Democrat Party on campus, and the only party you could vote for was the Student Republican Party. Those who had worked at Liberty from the time Jerry Falwell Sr. was the president would say that things were more inviting when Sr. was around, and that he was an example of what a Christian evangelical leader was supposed to be. But with Jerry Falwell Jr. in the position of president, and especially with the events of 2015 and 2016, everything on campus had become too political and cold. Quoting a former LU employee, nothing spiritual was left on campus. But around 2019, a Reuters article would be published describing an incident that happened in 2015 that involved Jerry and Trump's former attorney, Michael Cohen. In a recorded conversation with Michael Cohen, he said that back in 2015, Jerry Falwell Jr. had told him that someone had obtained compromising photos of him and Becky, and were using it as blackmail to extort money from them. Jerry asked for Cohen's help and advice, and eventually when Cohen intervened, the individual that had compromising photos of the Falwells supposedly destroyed the evidence. However, Cohen was able to obtain one of the many photos and was quoted as saying that the photos were disgusting and terrible. You know, I have a feeling those said photos will probably be mentioned later on. Around the same time of the Reuters article, Politico would also publish an article on Jerry Falwell Jr., basically describing the hypocrisy and corruption of Liberty University under Jerry's leadership. One of the most notable parts of this article was the fact that back in 2014, Jerry and his son, Trey Falwell, were in a nightclub in Miami. And yes, this club served alcohol, which goes against Liberty's policy on alcohol. The policy states that no matter if you're a student or staff, you cannot have alcohol on or off campus. Jerry would deny that he was at this nightclub. However, there were photos of him and his son on the dance floor, and you can see it right here on the screen. You can even see in this photo right here that Trey and his wife are holding alcoholic beverages. Kind of goes against the Liberty way. In an attempt to save face, Jerry would begin to say that these photos of him and his family in a nightclub were fake. They were Photoshopped. But that wasn't true, since we'll find out soon enough that these photos were real. Another notable detail in this article is that both Jerry and Trey Falwell owned a hostel behind a liquor store in Miami with a sign on the entrance saying, "No soliciting, fundraising, politics, salesmen, or religion." It would be known that this hostel owned by the Falwells is where most of the vice went on with Jerry Falwell Jr. Very hypocritical of what he's supposed to be at LU. And I guess this is a great segue into our next section. So, you guys know how I mentioned that Jerry Falwell Jr. had some photos of him and his wife, and how he and his family were caught in a nightclub down in Miami? Well, those two have something in common with what is known as the Pool Boy incident, also referred to as the Jerry Falwell sex scandal. Around August of 2020, Giancarlo Granda, a close friend of the Falwells at the time, would come out and describe how he was having a sexual relationship with Becky Falwell from 2012 to 2019. Now thinking about it, I think close friends with benefits would be an appropriate term. In a text message from Becky Falwell to Granda back in 2012 reads, "Right now I'm just missing you like crazy. Have you had this effect on all your lady friends?" Now I know that both Becky and Granda are adults, however, I still find it a little creepy that a 40-year-old woman is saying this to a 20-year-old guy. I don't know, I guess it's just me. However, Granda and Becky weren't the only ones in this relationship. Jerry was also involved. According to Granda, he states that when Becky and him would have intimate relations, Jerry would not only watch from the corner of the room, but he would also record them having sex. So in basic terms, Jerry was and still is a cuck. This relationship of theirs would last until 2018 when Granda would start seeing other people. And instead of describing how both Jerry and Becky felt about this change in their relationship, I'll let this recorded call do the talking. Take a listen.
Alright.
John's been very busy lately. Studying.
Yeah, so.
His new thing is like telling me every time he hooks up with people, like I don't have feelings or something.
You don't make us jealous.
Yeah.
Not trying to do that.
Like a week ago, I was in tears for a whole freaking day.
Come on.
He's like, I hooked up with this girl on Tinder, and then I got her an Uber, and I'm like, just completely depressed.
Come on. You don't care.
Maybe
about
the
me
more
anymore.
you tell me, the more I'll get used to.
You don't care about me anymore, Becky.
Huh?
You don't care about me anymore.
Yeah, really? Yeah, obviously. Yeah,
But
that's why.
I just tell you because you're my best friend, right? So.
I know. I'm trying to be okay and like accepting my position, but I'm kind of into. So yeah,
It's okay.
I'm trying to. I've changed a lot. I've moved on. I've matured.
Yep.
Matured.
Yes.
I'm not as crazy as I used to be. I would think. I don't think.
No.
So
You're
yeah,
not.
this is just
No, you're perfect.
Yeah.
You're
Gotta
fine.
keep that up. Yeah, this is just new. I don't know. I was always in the, even before when you weren't dating somebody, it just kind of threw me for a loop.
Well, you heard it here, folks. It would appear that Becky and Jerry did not like this new change and tried to guilt-trip Granda. Eventually, Jerry Falwell Jr. would sever his business ties with Granda about a year later without letting him know. Granda tried to mend things with the Falwells, but to no avail. And it was around 2020 that Granda realized that he was being preyed upon by both Jerry and Becky for their own sexual pleasure. Granda then decided to come out about what happened to him for 7 years with the Falwells. But before doing so, he warned Jerry through text of what was to come. The text message conversation reads as follows. Granda, since you're okay with ruining my life, I'm going to take the kamikaze route. It really is a shame because I wanted to reach a peaceful resolution and just move on with our lives, but if conflict is what you want, then so be it. Jerry Falwell Jr. responds with the following. You should by now understand that I will not be extorted. I have always treated you fairly and been restrained in response to your threats because I did not wish to ruin your life. Going forward, stop contacting me and my family. When the allegations came out about Jerry and Becky, Jerry would not just come out and say that the allegations were false, but he would immediately say that he knew that his wife was having an inappropriate relationship with Granda, but he was not involved whatsoever. He essentially just threw his wife under the bus. It wouldn't be till the phone call, text messages, and supposed images and videos of Jerry, the pool boy, and Becky were leaked that there was proof that Jerry was definitely involved. Due to this incident, abuse of power as president of LU, and another incident where Jerry took a photo of his unzipped pants, Jerry Falwell Jr. was terminated from Liberty University. Immediately after being fired, Liberty University sued Jerry Falwell Jr. for $10.5 million for breach of contract and withholding information on the sex scandal. Jerry would respond to the lawsuit that it was based on lies and that Granda was only trying to extort money from him. However, this proved to be fruitless, and Falwell had gone silent about LU and Granda since then. After Jerry left, Liberty would bring on Jerry Prevost as the university's new acting president. You all are probably wondering what happened to Jerry Falwell Jr. after he left Liberty University. Well, the last we heard of him was that back in September of 2020, a 911 call was made by Becky Falwell that Jerry had been drinking too much that night and had fallen down the stairs. Thankfully, he was not severely injured, only cuts and bruises. And with that seems to be the end of Jerry's reign at LU. Now with a new leader, maybe Liberty can finally turn over a new leaf. It is something I would want to say, but unfortunately it seems that the environment on campus has not improved since Jerry's termination. There have been more cases of sexual assault on campus that Liberty either chooses to ignore or blame the victims for, and with the recent change in LU's Liberty Way policy, it seems that freedom of speech is being silenced, especially for those who are in the LGBT community. However, that will not be discussed in this video, since there is a lot of information to dissect and dive into. I will be making a second LU video discussing the ever-mounting sexual assault cases and the silencing of LGBT on campus. But with that said, this pretty much wraps up our topic. I just wanted to say thank you guys for watching today's episode of the Sock Drawer. This video took a while for me to work on. I actually planned on discussing the other 2 points about Liberty. However, when researching and creating the script for this video, there was a lot of information about Jerry Falwell Jr. that I didn't even know was out there. But I do plan on having the second part of this video uploaded in about a month's time. Also, I wanted to apologize for not posting for a while. I have recently been busy with my day job and going through the employment process for a potential job within my field of study, which leads me to discuss the future of this channel. If I get on with this said job, then I'll have to put the channel on the back burner for a while, but whenever I get the chance, I'll make sure to pop in and upload some videos from time to time. But with all that said, thank you guys again for watching this video. This is the first time I've done a video like this, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked what you see, please leave a like or comment down below. If you enjoy the content I create so far, then feel free to click subscribe. I've got other ideas for videos in the works, but that'll be it for now, so take care guys.